If you observe your environment, you will notice several physical or abiotic factors such as temperature, water, light, and soil. These abiotic factors have a strong bearing on the life and existence of plant and animal species in different regions of the planet. Moreover, every organism adapts itself in various ways to these factors. Temperature is one of the most important abiotic factors that influence the life of organisms. On Earth, the average temperature on land varies seasonally. Moreover, as you move away from the equator towards the poles, you will notice a progressive decrease in temperature. Similarly, as you climb mountains, temperature decreases with an increase in altitude. On our planet, temperature ranges from sub-zero levels in the polar areas and high altitudes to more than 50 degrees centigrade in tropical deserts in summer. Interestingly, there are some unique habitats such as thermal springs and deep-sea hydrothermal vents where the average temperature exceeds 100 degrees centigrade. Did you know that temperature influences the kinetics of enzymes and through it, basal metabolism and other physiological functions and activities performed by an organism? A few organisms can tolerate and live in a wide range of temperatures, while a majority of them are restricted to a narrow range of temperatures. Organisms that can tolerate a wide range of temperatures are called euthermal, while organisms that can tolerate a narrow range of temperatures are called stenothermal. In fact, the levels of thermal tolerance of different species greatly influence their geographical distribution. For example, tropical plants such as banana and coconut cannot grow in temperate regions of the world. Similarly, pine and conifers, which are adapted to temperate regions, cannot grow in tropical regions or deserts. Likewise, in the animal kingdom, it is difficult for furry polar bears living in the polar ice caps to survive in warmer regions of the world. Similarly, camels are found only in arid regions of the world. Like temperature, water is another important abiotic factor that influences the life of organisms. In fact, life on Earth originated in water and is unable to sustain without it. However, water is not uniformly distributed across the planet. Dry places, such as deserts, have very little water reserves. Naturally, plants and animals have adapted themselves to optimally utilize water. By and large, water greatly influences the distribution of plants and their productivity on our planet. Apart from the availability of water, the quality of water is also important for organisms, particularly those living in aquatic habitats. Quality of water means the chemical composition, pH, as well as the salt concentration of water. The concentration of salt is measured as salinity in parts per thousand, or ppt, which has a significant influence on the life of aquatic organisms. Did you know that the concentration of salt in inland water is less than 5 ppt? In seawater, it is 30 to 35 ppt, while in hypersaline lagoons, it is more than 100 ppt. Some organisms tolerate a wide range of salinities. while others are restricted to a narrow range of salinities. Organisms that can tolerate a wide range of salinities are known as euryhaline, while organisms that can tolerate a narrow range of salinities are known as stenohaline. This also explains why many freshwater organisms cannot live in seawater for long, and vice versa, as they would face osmotic problems. Apart from temperature and water, light is another abiotic component of the environment that affects living organisms. Plants, for instance, require light for photosynthesis and growth. In forests, many small shrubs and herbs are overshadowed by tall canopied trees and therefore receive very little sunlight. Such plants are still able to survive as they are adapted to synthesize their food in low sunlight conditions. In fact, many plants depend on sunlight to meet their photoperiodic requirements for flowering. For instance, flowers of portulaca bloom after sunrise and close after sunset. Similarly, for many animals, sunlight is important for their existence. The diurnal and seasonal variations in light intensity and photoperiod signal them that it is time for their foraging, reproductive, and migratory activities. Have you wondered how organisms survive in the deep sea? Organisms that live in deep waters make use of a different spectrum of light. When sunlight falls on the surface of water, a small percent is reflected back into the atmosphere, while the remaining filters downward. Did you know that the longer light rays of the light entering the sea are absorbed near the surface of the water, while the shortest light rays penetrate deep down? Thus, photosynthesis in deeper waters occurs with blue and green rays, which are absorbed by the brown and red algae on the seabed. Interestingly, as the sun is the source of both light and temperature, the availability of light on land is closely linked with the temperature at any given place. Just as plants require light and water for their survival, they also require soil, another important abiotic component. On Earth, the nature and properties of soil varies in different places. The type of soil depends on the parent rock, climate, weathering process, how the soil is formed, and whether the soil is transported or sedimentary. Apart from these factors, various soil characteristics such as its composition, grain size, and soil aggregation determine its percolation and capacity to hold water. Characteristics such as pH and mineral composition of the soil and topography of the place greatly influence vegetation, which in turn determines the animals that can survive in that place. Similarly, in aquatic habitats, the sediment's characteristics determine the type of benthic animals that can survive there. Organisms living in this zone are called benthos, which include chitons, oysters, mussels, sponges, corals, and crabs. In this way, various organisms adapt themselves to different abiotic factors of the environment, which include temperature, water, light, and soil.